Hi there everybody and welcome to a new video. Today we are taking a look at the WM142, which is a dual Moonphase automatic watch from the brand previously known as Welly Merck. Now the guys over at Welly Merck did have a listen to consumers' opinions and have changed themselves to WM Watch. The branding and the logo does remind me though of Daniel Wellington, but hopefully the watch is somewhat better than what you would find in a Daniel Wellington guys. So this watch, the WM142, it comes in two particular dial configurations. You've got a midnight blue and you also have a dark black version. You can see there you do have it on bracelet, or alternatively, if you prefer, you can get it on a leather strap. My personal opinion, for what it's worth, I think the leather strap far exceeds the look of that bracelet, which is a little bit too fancy for my particular style. Now, throughout the video I have tried to put this in various lighting conditions, using automatic on the camera, darkening it slightly to reflect, I suppose, what it looks like in other lighting situations, but apologies, it doesn't mean to be misleading in any way, shape or form. I've just tried to show you that dial and the watch in a variety of conditions, because marketing materials sometimes don't show you exactly what it looks like when you get it in the hand. Now, I have put some macro footage up later on in the video, but this is just a little piece, or as a teaser, to show you what that dial looks like. It is a really complex dial. I'm sure it costs quite a lot to manufacture, and it is really innovative. But like I say, the overall finishing on that dial is very, very nice. Now, the crown is actually a push-in as opposed to a screw-in. So as a consequence, you do only have 50 meters of water resistance. So one thing to point out is 50 meters of water resistance does not mean that you can go 50 meters underwater. In fact, it barely means that you can take it into the water. So if you're planning on wearing a watch and going in the water, please don't make it this one. Lume on the watch, as you can see, when you see that very bright green, that is not a great sign. I will be honest, the lume on the watch wasn't fantastic. It did die out quite quickly. Now, in terms of dimensions, you do have a 41mm case, but it does wear a lot larger than that because of the fact that there is not any bezel, or it is a very small bezel, again, which makes it a little bit reminiscent of what you would see in a Daniel Wellington. In terms of thickness, you're looking at 12mm, and you do have 20mm end links, so you can swap it out for a strap if you feel that that's something that would suit you better. Again, here's some different lighting footage just to show you the dial, but you do actually have a flat sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, which is very effective at keeping away most of the glare, as you can see there. As I put here in the video, you know, it does remind me of a Daniel Wellington in some respects. That's not to take away, though, the finishing of the watch. It is rather good. You've got that nice brush side. You do have a nice signed crown, and you've got those polished edges on the bezel and on the sides of the case there, which you know, are very, very difficult to do, especially at the price point that this watch sits at, which for those of you with a keen eye would have seen earlier is around about $140 US, probably a little bit cheaper if you can catch it this weekend, just at the tail end of the Black Friday sales. As you can see there, you do also have that flat sapphire crystal. Now, one thing to point out, and again, very, very impressive thing about this watch, is it is a modified Miyota 7200A. You can see there the finishing on the watch with those stripes is very, very good. You do have a 72-hour power reserve on this watch as well, so it's not the usual 40-something hour power reserve, but overall the finishing on the movement was very, very nice. And it's one of the things, you know, sometimes you look at the watch and go, God, I wish I could wear it with the movement showing on the back. I'm not bothered about the time, but like I say, it was finished very, very well with that that striping. I was going to call it Geneva striping, but this probably Shanghai stripes, I suppose, is probably the alternative. Going to the bracelet though, guys, again, this is only my personal opinion. I'm not a big fan of it because it's just a little bit too chintzy for me, a little bit too flash. I do prefer the leather bracelet, or sorry, the leather strap version. But that's not to say that the finishing on the bracelet was pretty good. You do have a double clasp, the end links were pretty tight, and like I say, the only probably real downside to it was that it didn't actually have any WM watch branding on the clasp there. But overall, you know, very good for the price point. Going back to the dial, and this is the star of the show, is the Moonphase component. So you can see there you do actually have 2 moons which go around based upon the curvature of the Earth or the time of the month. You get the drift. It's basically you know, comes around as the month progresses. Finishing on it is pretty good, but I think when you start to look at it in closer detail, then you'll pick up some of the, I suppose, less accurate printing on it. But again, this is really high macro footage, guys, so you're not going to see that with the naked eye. Finishing on the indices and the hands is very good, but again, please be aware the lume is not fantastic. It is that bright sort of green stuff, as opposed to BGW9 that you'll find on steel dives or watch dives, that sort of thing. So that is a bit disappointing, because the I suppose the ability to be able to see that dial for a long time would be wonderful, and it'd be just nice to see BGW9 used. Pinion and the I suppose the finer details of the finishing on the hands, you can see here in close detail, was very good as well. So full marks to them there for keeping it nice and tidy on the pinion. So overall, guys, is the WM142 something that I would consider? Well, it's not something I'd consider because it's not my kind of watch, but I review watches of all types because everybody has different tastes. Do I think it's a bad watch? No, I don't. It is disappointing that the dial doesn't have a stronger lume on it to better reflect the unique nature of the dial, so that's something I would certainly like to see improved. But overall, I think it's a rather nice looking watch, just not my particular style, but certainly for you guys out there, and there may be some that do like this style of watch. I prefer sports watches. I've never really worn dress watches too much, but like I say, I do appreciate the finishing on this watch. There are some really cool aspects to it, especially that 72-hour power reserve modified Miyota 7200 movement. But please, guys, tell me what you think. Do you think it's a good watch? What would you like to see improved? And more importantly, what would you actually like to see on my channel? So, guys, with that being said, thanks ever so much for watching the video. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you in a new video soon. Take care.